So I thought the next thing that I should talk about is kind of when I knew that Jennifer was insane and how that all happened, because it's kind of important to the rest of the story. I think it was like a few weeks after I first spoke to her on voice chat, that initial chat, July 4th. She wanted to talk to me alone about something, and it was just her there and her partner, Hannibal. And she started to talk to me about like religious stuff, specifically reincarnation and spiritual things. And she asked me if I believed in reincarnation, and I said, well, I don't not believe in it, but I also am not sure there's any proof that it's real or that it actually happens. So I wouldn't say that it's wrong or it doesn't exist or I don't believe in it, but I also don't know if there's any accurate proof or anything like that. And this was like kind of around the time that she started to insist that I was the reincarnation of Abigail Hobbes, like the character from the TV show, who is younger than me. And I was like, okay, well, first of all, even if reincarnation is real, nobody's a reincarnated soul from a fictional character because they don't exist. They don't have a real soul. Secondly, even if this was possible, she's younger than me. So, like, I can't be reincarnated as somebody younger than me, and she's still alive in the show, so how is that going to work if she's alive and I'm alive? Third, and finally, I said, if I was going to be any character, it would be Freddie Lounds, because that's who I am most like personality-wise. For the record, I don't think I am her, nor have I ever tried to be her. A lot of people have twisted things out of context because I did used to cosplay as Freddie. And I do mean cosplay. I wasn't LARPing. I wasn't pretending to be her. It was just a cosplay thing. And people took pictures of that and they ran with it and they said, oh, look, she's trying to be Freddie Lounds and she thinks she's Freddie Lounds. She's so crazy. And that never happened. It was just cosplay like other people did. Anyhow, she got really, really mad at me. And she said that there could only be one Freddie Lounds, and she was Freddie Lounds, and that I had to be Abigail. And I was just like, well, why do I have to be Abigail? And she started going in on all this stuff about, like, because I have PTSD and all this stuff, and Abigail has PTSD, that we, like, matched or whatever. And the only reason why I was having a hard time accepting this was because I was so much like Abigail that, like, I had a hard time recognizing that she was my soul bond or some sort of nonsense like that. I found it very funny and amusing, and I was just like, no, that's not how any of this works. Like, you are completely incorrect at this point, and no. And she just had this, like, raging tantrum about how I was disrespecting her beliefs, and I was this horrible person, and you name it. And I was just like, I'm not disrespecting what you believe. You can believe anything you want, but that doesn't mean that I have to believe it. And then she eventually ended the chat, and then she didn't want to talk to me anymore. I was like fine with that because I didn't want to talk to her anyway, so I was kind of glad that was over. And for a few days, she just left me alone. She was just silent. She didn't ask me to get on voice, or she didn't send me any messages on Skype or anything like that. I was talking to my friend Sam, and I was asking Sam if Jennifer was okay, because as you probably would have guessed or might have even known from the Final Fantasy VII house stuff, Jennifer was a total drama queen, and she liked to threaten to hurt herself or unalive herself or any number of things when she wanted attention or she didn't get her way or somebody upset her. And Sam was saying that Jennifer was basically like suicidal. And I was like, you know, no offense whatsoever, but I think she's just saying that for attention, because I don't know how many times I had already been on voice chat with her or just regular chat, and she would just make all these threats and these claims and whatever. And I was like, even if she did try to attempt it, she has like 2 roommates, and I'm pretty sure one of them would find her because none of them ever leave the house, which is the truth. They like never left the house unless they were all together, but that was still rare. And Sam was like, well, Jennifer only has 1 roommate. And I'm like, no, I heard 2 people in that house. And Sam was like, no, that's 1 person. Hannibal does 2 different voices, and they make it sound like there's 2 other people living there, but there's not. It's just the 2 of them. And I was shocked because I know this whole time I've been speaking like I knew that it was just Jennifer and this Hannibal person. But at the time, I thought she had 2 roommates because I heard 2 distinctly different voices in the background a lot. And they were different personalities, like entirely. And whoever this person was, this Hannibal person was, they would also pretend to be somebody named Gail. Not Abigail Hobbes, like the character that Jennifer wanted me to be, but this gender-bent male version of Abigail named Gail, because I guess that's the male version of the name Abigail. I don't know, I've never really looked too much into it. But the point is that whatever was going on here, Hannibal and Jennifer had decided that Hannibal was going to be like 2 different people and convince everybody else that Jennifer had 2 roommates instead of 1, which is crazy, especially because it was done so well. Like, you would have never been able to tell that this was the same person doing 2 different voices. It was very, very different. So I was like, there's no way things are this crazy. And Sam was like, I promise you it's only the 2 of them in that house. And I was like, well, I'm kind of glad that I'm not talking to these people anymore because I really, really don't like them. That was kind of like what happened because, at that point, I was just like overwhelmed with this crazy, weird notion that, for one, Jennifer tried to suggest that I was a reincarnation of a fictional character. And for 2, I found out that she didn't live with 2 roommates. She only had that partner, and he just did voices and tried to convince people that there were more people living in that house than just the 2 of them. So that was like enough for me, and I was glad to have the break. Then it was kind of decided, because Sam was still doing this project for TattleCrime for Brian Fuller's birthday, as I said. And Sam said that it might be kind of suspicious if I just overall stopped talking to her and I should just like let her cool down for a while or something, and then like she would come around. But I still didn't want anything to do with her. I didn't. And yet I don't know, I guess I was too much of a people pleaser or something, because I told Sam, well, fine, but I'm not doing voice chats anymore. I'm not staying up till 3 a.m. I'm not indulging her in listening to her talk about perfume and her crazy theories on Freddie Lounds that don't make any sense and whatever. And Sam was like, just talk to her on Skype then, or talk to her on Tumblr. You don't have to do voice chat. I just think that it'll be suspicious if you stop talking to her entirely, because then she'll think you're plotting against her, whatever. In the back of my mind, I'm thinking she already thinks that. She's always thought that. She thinks like anybody who isn't with her is actively plotting against her. This is nothing new, but whatever. I just decided that I was going to put up with it, and I knew that Brian Fuller's birthday was coming up fairly soon, and it would all be over with. So I was still chatting with Jennifer, but it was only through Skype messages. I wasn't involved in voice chats or anything like that. I was also chatting with her partner, Hannibal. I would chat back and forth with other people in the group. I did try to chat with Lauren, but like I said, Jennifer was like the little go-between where if I wanted to talk to Lauren, I had to get the message approved first and all this stuff. And it was completely just the craziest situation that I'd ever been in. And it was about to get a lot worse.